This is a story I heard from my father, who worked as a security guard at XX Girls High School. XX Girls High School was a prestigious school in our area for entrance exams, and was famous for its strict school rules and forced study. However, my father said that the security guard uniform was cool and the students were kind, so he went there with great satisfaction. My father, a former high school graduate salesman, was a legendary salaryman who became an executive in his 40s. After retirement, the job he got because he was bored at home was this XX female high school security guard. At the time, my father was in his mid-40s, a young age compared to other security guards, and he was quite handsome, so he was popular with students. So, after hearing from the students what happened at the girls' high school, he told me about it after work. My father, who was like this, goes through some incident and quits as a security guard. My father also went through all kinds of prenatal troubles while working at a company, but it seems that it was difficult for young students to endure such unreasonable things. As with any high school, there were many ghost stories in XX Girls High School. The most famous of these was the tale of the blind ghost. A few decades ago, a XX Girls High School student couldn't overcome the stress of studying and stabbed her eyes with a pencil during class. Afterwards, there was an incident in which students suddenly stabbed their eyes while class. According to the stories of the students, while she were having a class, SEH saw a woman in an old school uniform walking around the hallway. It is said that blood was dripping from the woman's eyes. The woman opened the back door and entered the classroom, but no one cared about her except herself, and eventually she came to her desk and stabbed her in the eye. I don't know if such an incident actually happened, but it was true that XX Girls High School students were really stressed about studying. Like students of that age, XX Girls High School students used to relieve stress with small deviations. When my father worked as a security guard, it was popular to call blind ghosts. The school banned Ouija board, and severe punishment was given to students who were caught doing it. My father also found a student who occasionally did Ouija board while working the night shift. It was also the case that my father quit being a security guard. My father still regrets not telling the school about it. That same day, my father was on patrol at night and saw students doing Ouija board in the classroom. It was the first place student in whole school and her friends. For convenience, I'll call them A, B, and C. It is said that A was popular because she was the first place in the school, she was good at sports, and she had a good personality. B was also the object of envy among her classmates because she was pretty enough to model for a magazine and was a flashy girl who liked to dress up. It is said that C was a normal and quiet girl compared to A and B. These three A, B, and C were doing Ouija board in a classroom with the lights off. Bunsen Saba oit Gudase. Has the ghost come? The pencils A, B, and C were holding together moved to the yes side of the sketchbook. B asked, "Are you a blind ghost who committed suicide by stabbing yourself in the eye with a pencil?" Again, the pencil moved to the yes side of the sketchbook. The girls continued their Ouija board with light screams and interesting laughs. B asked a question after asking questions about entrance exams and about male celebrities. Blind ghost, out of the three of us, who is the prettiest? The pencil moved slightly towards A. Then, the back door of the classroom opened and the girls screamed in surprise. My father came into the classroom. Father told the students that it was late at night, so why don't they go home, and the students hurriedly packed their things and ran out of the classroom in surprise. On the desk, there were tools for Ouija board that the students had not yet finished. A pencil was placed on side no of the sketchbook. My father, feeling uneasy about something, burned the tools in the incineration. Anyway, my father didn't tell the school about it, and nothing happened to A, B, and C. It wasn't that nothing had changed at all, but after that day, it seemed that A became interested in makeup. Instead of her usual glasses, she wore contact lenses and put on makeup. Cosmetics and lenses are said to have been bought as gifts by B. B taught A how to wear contact lenses and put on makeup, and the two seemed to grow closer. However, it seemed that C was a little more awkward with A and B than before. Of course, it was like that in my father's eyes, but I didn't know what it was like in reality. But then something strange happens. It is natural for A's grades to drop slightly, but A's complexion was also gradually deteriorating. A frequently complained of headaches and frequently visited the infirmary for eye pain. A was a student who was never late, let alone absent, but after that day, she was often absent from school or left early in the middle because she was sick. It was as if she had been cursed by a blind ghost. The school was also trying to come up with some countermeasures, but faculty couldn't do anything about A, who was the first place in the school. And eventually it happened. In the middle of class, A suddenly screamed that she could not see. An ambulance came and A was taken to a nearby large hospital. Even in the ambulance, A said she couldn't see and cried. B and C went to visit A in the hospital, and fortunately, there were no major problems with A's eyes. The school side finished it to the extent of happening due to study stress. But a few days later, the police came to the school. It means that the Clorox component was detected in the lens worn by A. The school conducted its own investigation and identified the culprit. It means that B put Clorox into A's lens barrel. Even when faculty asked B why she did that, she is silent. The shocking fact is that C also knew that B had put Clorox in A's lens barrel. At the end of the school's questioning, it is said that C confessed while crying. B was usually jealous of A, as A started to decorate her appearance and even became pretty. She couldn't tolerate it. When asked why she pretended not to know B's actions, C could not answer. The school ended the case by transferring B and C. It was around this time that my father quit being a security guard. My father quit being a security guard and opened a snack bar in the neighborhood. Business went well, perhaps thanks to the skill of a former salesperson. Among the regulars of my father's snack bar, there were quite a few graduates of XX Girls High School. Some time later, my father heard stories about A, B, and C from a regular from XX Girls High School. A was shocked by the incident and decided to take repeat, but eventually entered medical school. B went to a prestigious university in Seoul and married a man she met at a group blind date during her university life. C entered a public company and left the company due to some kind of incident, after that, don't know where. My father sometimes has nightmares. It is a dream in which A, B, and C come to the store as customers. They pretend to be Ouija board in the store and ask the blind ghost something, but the pencil in the hands of the three does not move at all in the middle of the yes and no.